Dear Diary, it's day 2 of our travel. We are still on the road. Yesterday we left Baguio, took the Halsema Highway, rode all the way to Mangkayan, Benguet, stopped there for dinner, and that's where we stayed for the night. Then the morning came, we hit the road again. We are on our way to Vigan via the Cervantes Quirino Road and passing by beautiful bridges, wide open rice fields, small towns, cornfields, more bridges, and this beautiful Quirino Welcome Arc. Right now, we are in Barangays Namitpit, where we found the best view deck. This view looks straight out of a Jurassic Park movie. Look, a dino! Now we continue our journey. More curves ahead. Look at this road. So many curves. My Google is showing spaghetti maps. The one thing we don't have right now. Spaghetti. We should have packed some food and had picnic on that view deck. Unfortunately, there's no McDo or Jollibee anywhere near here. And what on earth is that noise? Another rider. Let him pass. We are not rushing. This road has more twists and turns than my love life. And the curves are tighter than my budget this month. But the scenery is stunning. We don't pass by here often, so let's enjoy the view while we can. Still not many cars, just the open road. And a few fellow riders here and there. Put a helmet on, buddy. Or at least some sunscreen. At this point, the sun is already up, and it's getting warmer and warmer. There goes my partner, riding along with me. I used to be his back rider or angkas, but now I'm a full-time main character on my own bike. So I don't have to yell, "Dahan lang!" every 5 seconds. I love my partner, but I love having control over the brakes even more. Before, I thought riding on my own bike would be impossible, that balancing the bike would be hard. But it turns out balancing my expenses is harder. They said riding alone would be scary. But you know what? The only scary thing is realizing how much fun I was missing. We're still going down the spaghetti road. Get it? Spaghetting pababa. We're still cruising through Barangays Namitpit. Lots and lots of mango trees in here. How lucky are the locals when it's mango season? Another thing we don't have right now. Mangoes. Imagine ripe mango chunks. Soft, juicy, on top of cold, creamy yogurt. Every spoonful is heaven. Or how about this? Green, freshly cut mangoes. Crisp, crunchy. Now dip it in alamang or bagoong. Is your mouth watering yet? Cause mine is. We're still here in Namitpit, passing by this valley with the most scenic views. Thankful for the shade of the trees on the road, chilling us from the heat of the sun. Okay, there is actually another route, like a shortcut route from Namitpit to the Skyline Viewdeck, but for some reason, Google Maps led us through the mountain route. The curvy up and down route with a twist and the turns. I guess Google thought we need more adventure today. I'm not complaining though, as long as the road is paved and not rocky. Like the ice cream. Get it? Cause rocky road. Another thing we don't have today. Ice cream. Could have been perfect for this hot weather. That soft, creamy, cold, melting just a little. The rich chocolate, crunchy nuts, chewy marshmallows. Enough about food. This is what we chose to do today. We made the conscious choice to hit the road on our day off when we should be resting, sleeping. But no, we chose to be out here. Am I regretting it though? Nope. Oh look, someone scattered palay on the road to dry. Palay on the road to dry. My Filipino accent. But why do they do this? But why do they do? Sorry. Why do farmers do this? In many rural areas of the Philippines, farmers often use roads to sun-dry their palay. Palay means unhusked rice. They do this due to a lack of accessible and affordable post-harvest facilities. Sun-drying on roads provide a large, flat surface exposed directly to sunlight, which is ideal for drying the grains efficiently. Technically, this practice is prohibited since it can be dangerous for motorists, but for many farmers, it is their only option. Despite these regulations, the practice persists, highlighting the need for the government to provide adequate drying facilities for farmers, because without such support, farmers are left with limited options. So, if you're passing through some roads in the Philippines, don't be surprised when you see palay spread out. It is not on major highways or busy streets. It's in the peaceful, open areas where the farmers can dry their harvest safely, like this road we are on. There are very few vehicles since the start of our road trip this morning. Rice is a staple food in our country, so let's support our farmers, and hopefully they'll be provided with better equipment and facilities in the future. And speaking of rice, we are now passing through a wide rice plantation, still part of Barangays Namitpit. If I had a coin for every grain of rice on this field, I'd still be broke because I'll spend it all on extra rice. This is the view we saw there in Namitpit Viewdeck, back when we were on top of the mountain. See those mountains? We'll be riding there later. But first, let's pass through this bridge. Suagayan Bridge connects Barangay Suagayan and Barangay Namitpit, which are two of the 9 barangays in the municipality of Quirino, Ilocos Sur. This bridge not only facilitates local travel but also plays a significant role in the daily lives of the residents, contributing to the socio-economic development of the area. There are a lot of bridges on this route. Has anyone counted the number of bridges we passed since we left Mangkayan? I should probably count that next time when I'm back on this road, but for now, here's our next mountain. Brace yourselves for another roller coaster ride. There's something about these roads. Steep, unpredictable, and sometimes a little nerve-wracking that keeps us coming back for more. It's not just about the destination, it's the whole journey, the challenges, and the stories we take home with us. There are a few road obstacles that could use some improvement, like this lubak. But on this route, nothing too challenging, especially for a beginner rider like me. It's all part of the experience, learning to navigate through rough patches and adjusting to different road conditions. These small bumps and cracks teach me to stay alert, keep my balance, and ride smarter. It's not always smooth, but that's what makes it fun. I have so much to learn, and every ride teaches me something new. It's really best to plan out your rides, especially during the dry season to avoid landslides. Mountain roads like this in Quirino can be unpredictable. Like this part of the road. OMG, there's literally nothing holding it up. The soil underneath has eroded, leaving the road hanging. But thankfully, they're working on it. That's the thing with mountain routes. With constant rain, soft soil, steep cliffs, landslides are common. The combination of heavy downpours, loose terrain, and the lack of solid foundation weakens the roads over time. Quirino's roads, especially those cutting through high elevations, are prone to these kinds of hazards. The rain softens the earth. That's why you'll often see road repairs, landslide warning signs, and even temporary detours in certain areas. But despite these challenges, these roads remain the most scenic and thrilling to ride on. You just have to be extra cautious and time your trips well because you don't want to be here when the ground decides to give way. This route is really empty. Did you know that the municipality of Quirino, Ilocos Sur has a population of around 9,000 according to the 2020 census? The places we passed through, like this barangay Suagayan, only had less than 1,000 people in it. Imagine a whole barangay with less than 1,000 people only. No wonder this place is so empty. There are a lot of factors contributing to why this place has such a small population. First, geography and terrain. Quirino is mostly mountainous and has a rugged terrain, making large-scale settlement difficult. Many areas are covered in forests and rolling hills, which limit the space for large communities. Second reason is economic opportunities. The local economy relies on agriculture, particularly rice and corn farming. Since there aren't many industries or commercial hubs, younger residents often migrate to bigger cities like Vigan, Lawag, Baguio, or Metro Manila in search of better job opportunities. The third reason would be limited infrastructure. With fewer roads, schools, and healthcare facilities compared to the urban areas, life in the rural barangays can be challenging, making people consider relocating to more developed places. Fourth reason would be natural disasters. Typhoons and landslides can affect the livelihood, sometimes forcing families to relocate to safer areas. Given all these factors, it's no surprise that some barangays like Suagayan have fewer than 1,000 residents. Moving on, here in Quirino, there are also narrow roads like this one. But it's okay, a car or even a truck can still fit through. You just have to be extra mindful, especially when navigating steep inclines. These narrow roads are common in mountain routes like this, where maintenance isn't as frequent and fewer vehicles pass through. Oh look, another bridge! A smaller one this time. And oh, look at that half of the road. It already has weeds growing on it. It's being reclaimed by nature. I have already lost count of how many mountains we have passed by. According to Google, this road is called Santiago Banayoyo Lidlida San Emilio Quirino Road. Wow, that name is so full of Spanish vibes. Santiago Banayoyo Lidlida San Emilio Quirino Road. It sounds like someone just kept adding names as they went along. I feel like if I ride far enough, I might find a sign that says, "Oh, and also Gregorio." As I pass by these small farms and quiet settlements, I can't help but wonder, how did their ancestors end up living on top of these mountains? Before the Spanish arrived, these mountains were home to indigenous groups. They were hunters and gatherers, moving from place to place, surviving off the land. When bigger groups came, they retreated deeper into the mountains, where they could live undisturbed. When the Spanish took over, they wanted to control over all the land. They forced the people into organized towns. But not everyone followed. Many indigenous groups moved even higher into the mountains, avoiding the Spanish rule. These highlands became their safe haven. As more people arrived and the land in the lowlands became crowded, settlers started moving up here to farm. The soil was fertile, and the mountain streams provided fresh water. They carved out terraces to grow crops and build their homes where they could be self-sufficient. Because the mountain life was hard, families relied on each other. Villages stayed small, and people passed down skills like farming, weaving, and hunting. The isolation also meant they kept traditions and languages that were different from those in the lowlands. Today, these mountain villages are proof of their ancestors' strength and determination. They didn't just survive here, they built a way of life. So you see, these mountains aren't just scenery. They hold centuries of history, shaped by the people who saw challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities. Life here isn't easy. There are no big cities, malls, fast-paced lifestyle, but that's exactly what makes it so special. The people who live here have a deep connection to the land, a quiet strength that comes from generations of surviving and thriving in the mountains. As we leave Suagayan behind and enter Barangay Luglag, the landscape slowly changes. There are more settlements here. This place was formerly known as Poblacion, which makes sense because it serves as the center of Quirino. The roads are so tight, bumpy, and I feel like they were just designed by someone who just went with the flow. But that's because this entire area is built on a rugged land. Many of these roads were originally just trails used by early settlers, traders, and farmers. Over time, they were expanded for carts, then motorcycles, then vehicles. Unlike major cities or national highways, this region didn't undergo massive infrastructure projects early on, so development here has been gradual, with the roads being improved bit by bit rather than fully reconstructed. Here in Luglug, it's busier compared to the previous barangays we passed through. There's a public market, a gasoline station, and even the Quirino Ilocos Sur Municipal Hall. So if your bike is running low on gas, now's the perfect time to fill up. Because after passing this town, do you see that? Do you see that? Yes, we are going on top of those mountains again. Because we have to, in order to reach our destination, the Skyline Viewdeck. This place looks so familiar. It reminds me of the valley in Cervantes, just before we started ascending the mountains of Quirino. Wide open spaces, scattered farms, and that quiet, peaceful vibe before the road suddenly decides to go vertical. It's like the mountain is giving you one last chance to turn back before the real climb begins. As we leave Barangay Luglug and begin our climb to Barangay Cayus, Quirino, Ilocos Sur, once again the roads are becoming curvy. These roads never go straight. It's just one turn after another, zigzagging up the mountain. Have you ever wondered why the mountain roads are built like this? Well, actually, there's some smart engineering behind it. If these roads were to go straight, they'd be dangerously steep. So steep that most vehicles wouldn't be able to handle the climb. And the solution? Switchbacks. What are switchbacks? They are those sharp hairpin turns that make the road look like a snake curling up the mountain. So instead of going straight up, the road gradually climbs in a zigzag pattern, making it easier for vehicles to ascend without overheating or stalling. So mountain roads can't be straight because our engines would overheat and the brakes would wear out fast. Zigzag roads help vehicles maintain grip on the pavement. A straight road would be too dangerous, especially when it rains. Furthermore, roads that go straight up damage the mountain, making landslides more likely. Curved roads spread out the pressure and help keep the soil stable. It's also safer for everyone. Imagine going downhill on a straight, steep road. You'd gain so much speed that stopping would be almost impossible. So the curves help slow down the vehicles naturally. You know, you don't just ride through mountain roads. You dance with them. Left, right, like a never-ending choreography. Does this count as exercise? Is this cardio then? If I ride a lot, I should be able to lose weight, right? I wonder how many calories are burned in a 4-hour ride. We're still cruising through Barangay Cayus, climbing higher into the mountains. And one thing is becoming clear. Instead of rice fields, we are seeing more vegetable farms. Down in the lowlands, it was all about rice paddies, stretching wide across the valley. Rice fields dominate the plains because they need warm temperature and constant irrigation. So they rely heavily on nearby rivers and irrigation systems. But up here in the mountains, the landscape and the crops completely change. Instead of flooded paddies, we have passed through rows of cabbage, carrots, and potatoes and other highland vegetables. These crops love the cooler mountain air, so the farmers here take advantage of the altitude. The higher you go, the fresher the produce. That's why many of the vegetables sold in the markets down in the cities come from farms just like these, hidden up in the mountains. But farming here isn't easy. Since the land is too steep for traditional fields, farmers use terracing, carving step-like plots into the mountainside. These terraces help prevent soil erosion, keeping the land from washing away when the rains would come. So instead of big irrigation systems, the farms rely on rainwater, mountain springs, and natural drainage to keep the crops healthy. It's a completely different way of farming, but one thing stays the same: the hard work, patience, and skill of the people who make these mountains their home. We're still ascending, passing through Barangay Cayus. And I am having a bit of a hard time turning with the steep curves, but I am trying my best. But every turn feels like my bike and I are in a battle of wills. Lean too much, and I feel like I might slide. Don't lean enough, and the road fights back. Thank God the roads are almost empty. Can you see those mountains up there? I do. I just have one question. When does the going up ever stop? Oh, these curves are so sharp. I think they have a personal vendetta against me. At this point, my bike isn't accelerating. It's just surviving. I started this ride with full energy. Now even my shadow is struggling to keep up. Wait a minute. Aren't those the same mountains we saw earlier? Are we just going in circles? But how can that be? This is an uncut video. Either we're going in circles or these mountains are secretly moving around us. I keep turning my head and it's just more mountains, more curves and more uphill. Are we actually making progress or is this just some kind of an optical illusion? I am getting dizzy now. If this road twists anymore, I might just spiral into another dimension. At this point, I feel like my bike and I are stuck in a loop, like a video game level that refuses to load to the next level. Every time I think we're reaching the top, the mountain just laughs and says, "Haha, nice try, here's another climb." Okay, this has got to be the end of it. Is it? Nope. Here's another climb. I just hope at some point we actually reach the top. Otherwise, I'm gonna start wondering if these mountains are a glitch in the system. Okay, at least the roads here are a little less steep than a while ago. Finally, my bike and I can breathe a little. We are definitely near the peak now. The incline isn't as aggressive, and for the first time in a while, I don't feel like my engine is crying for help. After climbing and climbing for eternity, looking around, the scenery is changing again. The trees are shorter, the air feels cooler, and the wind is stronger up here. And check this out, the road ahead actually looks promising. No more endless climbing. I hope. But knowing these mountain roads, I won't celebrate just yet. I feel like the moment I let my guard down, the mountain will hit me up with one last surprise uphill. See what I mean? Here we go again. And to all the folks out there who are planning to visit the Quirino Skyline Viewdeck, this is the road you have to be on. Doesn't it just look amazing? Amazingly high! Seriously, when is the uphill ever going to stop? You can't even take a break because you know the Skyline Viewdeck is just around the corner. Except, which corner? I spoke too soon. We are definitely not done ascending. Seriously, look at this view. It's like we're riding towards heaven. Is that St. Peter's front gate? Bad joke. This view is so worth it though. You only see this kind of scenery on postcards. But out here, we are living it. No filter, no edits, just pure breathtaking nature. This is still part of Barangay Cayus. And for real this time, we are really near the Skyline Viewdeck. I checked the maps and the roads we have been traveling on. They look insane from above. Long, winding lines snaking up the mountains, twisting and turning like a scribble drawn by someone who couldn't keep their hands steady. Okay, so apparently we're not done ascending. Our destination is so near yet so far. I swear these mountain roads are like a never-ending staircase to the sky. We have been climbing for so long, I think I just aged a year. And come to think of it, the peak of this road isn't even the highest elevation in the Philippine highway system. We are definitely going there to vlog next time. We are definitely very near our destination, the Quirino Skyline Viewdeck. Some of these roads are still under construction. Honestly, I have mad respect for the people working on these roads. Imagine hauling cement, gravel, and heavy equipment up here. The effort that goes into keeping this highway passable is insane. But it makes you appreciate the journey even more, because not too long ago, roads like this were barely accessible. And even with the rough patches, the ride is still worth it. The air is getting cooler and the sky looks wider. And the view is starting to open up. We're at the final stretch now, just a few more turns before we reach the top. At this point, my bike and I have been through a lot together. Steep climbs, tight curves, uneven roads, and this has been a true test of endurance. Okay, I think I have enough practice now. The Quirino skyline is just above this mountain. After all those endless curves, those sharp bends, those sudden inclines, I feel like I can conquer any turn, any road. I am the master of riding. And here we go, down to our last 3 curves. To the right, to the left. I can do this. This is nothing. These curves are nothing. And oops, I overshot. OMG, someone is coming from the other lane. I'll just park here. It's so embarrassing. Okay, he's gone. Guys, wait up. Phew. That was not part of the plan. Thankfully, it wasn't a car, or I'd be introducing myself in the most unfortunate way possible. Okay, here I come. Now we're here at Quirino's Skyline Viewdeck. But first, food. Your girl needs to eat because I'm so famished. Here at Skyline Viewdeck, most tourists come early to witness the famous Sea of Clouds, where the mountains appear to float on a fluffy white expanse. This phenomenon is best observed around 5 a.m., but our timing offers a different yet equally mesmerizing spectacle. Instead of the Sea of Clouds, we get to see what's beneath them. A sprawling landscape of lush mountains, rivers, and valleys that stretch as far as the eye can see. The clarity at this hour reveals the true beauty of the terrain, showcasing the nature that is often hidden beneath the morning mist. So while we might have missed the early morning clouds, this beautiful landscape before us is a reminder that nature's beauty is ever present, offering different charms at different times. Stay tuned on our next video, for we will be featuring Vegan, our next destination after the Skyline Viewdeck.